We've got a sample here in the Minsep lab that we've processed. We've done heavy liquid on the sample. Bronze magnetic separator has been used to get rid of the magnetic materials, but the sample is still cluttered with what appears to be barite and other soft minerals. So what we're going to do is wiggle bug the sample and get rid of and pulverize the softer minerals to extract the zircons. These are the items that I use when I'm putting together the wiggle bug to put in the wiggle bug shaker. We need tweezers, a tri-corner beaker, plexiglass with a hole cut in it. We need 2 cylinders like so, and in between the cylinders we're going to put some 20 micron opening nylon mesh. The next item is the titanium capsule. Now the capsule is going to have an O-ring inside. The reason for that O-ring is because when the barite and other soft minerals are pulverized, they will in effect cement the cap to the titanium capsule, requiring pliers and a couple of horses in order to get them out. So we're going to put the O-ring in there so that doesn't happen. Next, we're going to take the sample and we're going to pour the sample into the, that's a little too much, so we're going to pour it back. And we want to make sure that the amount of the sample and the acrylic BBs do not exceed 50% of the volume of the capsule. Otherwise, the BBs will not have the opportunity to do their work. And now we're going to get about 8 BBs. Place them in the capsule, close it, and now we're going to put a little tape and at this point I'm going to cover up the acrylic BBs because I don't want to chase them all over the room if I knock it over. Now that we have the capsule intact, we're going to open up the wiggle bug shaker and we are going to place the capsule in. Now, in order to make sure that this does not leave the capsule or leave the, I should say, the wiggle bug shaker, we're going to tape that in like so. Now we're going to turn it on, and for the amount of sample that we have in here, we'll run it about, we'll run it at 9 minutes, and we'll see what happens after that. We may have to do more. We'll have to play it by ear. So here we go. Now, if we open this up, you can see what's happening. Now at this point in time, the acrylic BBs are pulverizing the barite and the other soft minerals that are in this sample. Now that the capsule has been in the wiggle bug shaker for 9 minutes, we've removed it. We're going to remove the tape. We're going to put some isopropanol in the capsule, and whenever the capsule is open and the sample is not secured, we want to make sure that we're holding it over the 20 micron sieve. In case it spills out, we collect it. Put it back in the wiggle bug shaker for about another 4 or 5 minutes. Now that we've run the sample for 5 minutes with the isopropanol in it, we're going to take the tape off. Carefully, making sure that we hold the sample over the sieve. We're going to open it up, and now we're going to rinse the sample and the acrylic BBs into the sieve. And once that's done, we're going to rinse with acetone. Now that the sample is in the sieve, we're going to remove the O-ring. We're going to rinse it so that all of the grains are off. And now we're going to remove the BBs. Rinse those so that all of the grains are off. Now the sample is still drying, not quite dry yet. This particular sample had a tremendous amount of barite, and what's going to happen now that once this is dry, we will run it through the wiggle bug a second time, and if it's necessary, if all the barite is not gone or the other soft minerals, we'll run it through a third time, whatever's necessary to get rid of all of the clutter or the extraneous minerals that we do not want in the sample. I've transferred the sample now that it's dried, and we've run it through the wiggle bug exactly 2 more times, so a total of 3. And as you can see, we are down to the point where we now have nothing but zircon in here, pure zircon, no other minerals that can be detected. So at this point in time, we are now going to put the sample into a snap cap vial so that it's contained, and then we are going to properly make notation on the capsule, on the vial, so that everybody knows what procedures have been performed on this sample, and then it will go up to our upstairs called picking room, where it will be prepared for mounting. This particular sample did not have any pyrite or minerals that are soluble in acid. If there is pyrite or similar minerals in these samples, it's absolutely critical that the acid washing be done prior to the wiggle bugging. So make sure that when you look at these samples, you're not only looking for barite or other soft minerals, you're also checking to make sure that there is no pyrite in there. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the acid washing procedure first before we go to the wiggle bugging.